Alright, hey everyone, so I just wanted to do a quick mini review on my Pulsar X2 in the red limited edition colorway. So here it is. And I basically paid $94.95 plus the, I don't know how much was the shipping, but the total came out to $102.95 from Lethal Gaming Gear in the US. And it got to me in about 2 days, which is pretty quick. So I'm going to talk about the mouse, what it's been like. So I've had it for a couple of days so far, put about like 4 or 5 hours of usage on it. Yeah. So before we talk about the actual mouse, I just wanted to get the accessories out of the way. And one of the things in there is this red sticker, and it says something about it being limited and there 5,000 of these produced only. And the box is pretty interesting. Pulsar, it tells you about the features of it. And yeah, it's kind of weird to close, it's not perfectly made. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then we also get this little guy, which is the USB-C to USB-A dongle adapter, right? And it has this little rubber pad on the back so it doesn't slide. I don't know why it really has that, because it's light enough that it'll just move. And then we have this little USB dongle, which we would use to connect this to this or just the computer directly. And then we have the cable finally. This is a nice little paracorded cable, and it's decently light. It's enough to be able to be used while gaming wired and you won't notice it. And it's nicely color matched to the mouse with the rest of the accessories. Seems of decent quality, and it plugs in there with no prongs on the edges. So you will be able to use other third-party USB-C cables. You don't have to rely on this one. With the mouse itself, it's actually pretty good. I just want to get this quick little issue out of the way. And the main issue I had with this mouse is the rattle from this left mouse click. You can kind of hear it if I shake it a little, right? And then the left mouse button sits a bit higher than the right one. You kind of see it at an off angle, and because of that, it makes this weird sound, and it doesn't feel nice to click. It feels super like echoey, like I feel the click kind of reverberate back into the back of the mouse when my palm would hit the hump, right? That's not that great. I don't think I can fix it myself, so I'll probably just return or RMA it. The right button feels fine, but seems really deep. Like there's a thock to it, which is kind of weird. These are KLGM 8.0 switches, so they should last quite a while. They feel alright besides this issue. But honestly, I felt better. Like, this is my Viper Ultimate. Honestly, one of the best clicks I felt. These are optical switches, mind you. They just feel so much more premium. No matter where you press, it's not going to be that heavy. Here, if you press in the back, it's super heavy, and you still have that click issue. Scroll wheel is pretty loud and ratchety. I think it'd be fixed if I just put some keyboard lubricant on it. And the button, it's okay. It's a little hard to press down compared to other mice, so I can't spam it as much. Side buttons are fine, really clicky. They click nicely. There's no pre or post travel. I would have liked to see a little bit of post travel, because that makes for a more cushiony bottom out experience, which I just personally prefer, coming from a Viper Ultimate. This has one of the best side buttons of all time. The buttons of this mouse are top notch. You can't beat them. This is, I mean, they're good enough. You won't have an issue with these. They kind of stick out, and they have like a circular shape to it, so they won't be easy to miss. They're gonna be right there. You will always feel them. With the rest of the mouse, the coating is pretty good. It's just basic. It's nothing amazing. I don't think it's rubbery, or what people say the GPX coating's like. It doesn't feel exactly like bare plastic. It feels like they put a little coating on it, but it's nothing to write home about. It works. My hands don't sweat with it, so I don't really have an issue with it. The shape is a claw grip focus shape. So we have in the front of the mouse, it goes really low. In the back of the mouse, the hump is here, whereas a mouse like this, the hump is in the direct center. I use mice that have the hump in the back, towards the back, and it's really nice. The Viper Mini has this. Swimming with the Deluxe M800, it's somewhat towards the back. This makes for really good control, because you have this area contacting your palm, and then you have your fingers really low on the buttons. You have a lot of control, and I aim really well with this mouse. I would have liked to seen it kind of taper more into the middle. Like if you look at this mouse, it kind of has this more curve right here, so it feels smaller in the hand, even though it's actually not that small. It is bigger than this, but this feels bigger in the hand because of how flat the sides are. It's pretty comfortable, but I would like to see that. Right, and then what else about the shape? It's not too wide. It's a little flat on the top. It does not feel like a G Pro X at all. If that's what you're looking for. It does look really similar though. Just a clean mouse with the same looking design on the scroll wheel if you get the white or black one. The red color is really nice and deep. It looks really red in person. In camera, it kind of comes off as red-orange. It looks more like deep red in person. I don't know how to describe it other than that. And even the PCB is in this nice red color with these white accents, reminding me of something that Off-White would make. And next, the skates. Skates are okay. They're a little on the thinner side. And for comparison, here are core pads on my Viper Ultimate. Here are core pads on the Deluxe M800. And these are Tiger Arcs on the Viper Mini. Comparison, these feel kind of thin. They don't stick up as much. And they do glide smoothly. They're just a little slow, and yeah, I never had any issue with that. And the mouse doesn't actually contact the ground at all. It's only the skates. With the Viper Ultimate on my Heian, if I press a little hard, then other parts of the mouse start to contact the ground because of how little contact points there is. Whereas this one has a lot of big contact points to the mouse pad. If you press really hard, I guess you're gonna get this area touching, but it's nowhere in the level of that mouse. It feels really great. Maybe they'll get faster if I break them in, but I do recommend swapping out the feet if you do care about that. They're not that great on this mouse from factory. These buttons down here, this is DPI. It's in a pretty inconvenient spot for a right-handed mouse because, I mean, I have to basically go all the way like that. I accidentally click these buttons. And once I click this, I have to look here. So I'm kind of confused. If you press this, and then you have to look here to see what DPI stage you're on. This little light indicator for the DPI, it's in a good spot, but I don't understand why this is here and this is here. Like, why couldn't they put the DPI button all the way up here or in the middle? Usually in the middle, it's not too big of a deal. Or even right here and have the DPI indicator right next to it. Like, this is perfect. You press the button, you see what stage you're on right there. You don't have to flip the mouse every second. Also with the on-off switch, it's really hard to press, which is kind of interesting. It's like really hard to switch. You have to use like quite a bit of force with your nail. I don't know why that is. It's just a little thing that I thought I'd point out. It even says red edition right there, which is pretty cool. Nice mouse, 55 grams, or 56 grams, sorry, with this mouse. It's super light. This is 78 or something like that, 78 grams because of the white coating. This is 61. This is 70. And then my old G35 is 99 grams. This thing is really heavy. This is super light. I aim really well with this because of how light it is. And because it's a pretty good shape, I have good tracking and everything as well. It's a pretty comfortable mouse to use. Battery life on this mouse hasn't really been exceptional. I've had it for 2 days, and in that 2-day span, I have put around like 4.5 hours of use on this mouse with 1000 hertz because that's what probably everyone else would use, and I'm used to it. And in that use case scenario, this went from 100% to 90% in 4.5 hours, and they say 70 hours. I don't know if I'll make it to the full 70 hours because I do use my computer quite frequently. Don't know about that. And then the fact that I have to plug it in, I don't know, it's just not the best thing. This is amazing. The battery life is not that great on this mouse, but I can just put it on the dock, let it sit in charge when I'm done with it. With this one, if I leave it on and like do something else, don't use the mouse, it will sleep after a certain amount of time. And it's by default it's set to 1 minute. I highly recommend setting that to 5 because if you're literally holding an angle in the save Valorant for more than a minute, your mouse will turn off and a click after the mouse has to wake up after the sleep. It will be very delayed. I put that to 5 minutes, and yeah, it's been pretty good. The sensor on this mouse is the Pulsar PAW3395, and it goes up to a max resolution of 26,000 dpi, which is pretty high. Had no issues with it, and the minimum liftoff distance is 1 millimeter, so I set it to that. Performs flawlessly, no issues with the sensor. You can pick it up a little like this and it won't track, which is great. No issues there. And also this TAW3395 has the motion sync technology, which kind of makes your mouse inputs more smooth, if that makes sense. It kind of smoothens them out instead of making them jittery. So I have it on and it works well. I haven't noticed any issue with it. I haven't really played with it off, so I have heard that some people said that it gives a bit more latency, but I really don't find a difference, so I just keep it on. Don't find any issue with that. And with these switches, I put the debounce time to 0 milliseconds. I think from default it's set to like, I don't know what it's 16 or 5, or I don't exactly remember the number, but I do recommend setting that down to 0. I don't have any issues when I hit it to the ground like that. It doesn't accidentally click, so you might as well set it all the way down if you can with no issues, because you're just getting the lowest click latency you can from this mouse. And with using it wired, I haven't really found any issues. Cable plugs in here. It's a little hard to pull out. It's a nice snap. It's pulling it quite hard for it to pull out. I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. It won't fall out when you're playing, but it's hard to take out. It gives little cable tie and rubber here. It's pretty cool. Works. So yeah, that's the Pulsar X2 in the medium shape. I'd say it's a pretty good mouse for medium-sized hands, medium to large-sized hands. I will be returning this, unfortunately, due to this click issue, and I think I'll have a better time with the Lamzo Atlantis. Hopefully that's what everyone was saying was better than this, so I will be trying that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.